Just let us buy Ordeal's currency for research center with accumulating armory data, please, and grenade types in operations with credits, please. Okay, kind of an interesting idea. I don't really think buying grenade types before the operation is really a priority. I do notice some people kind of having some trouble with the ordeals, though, so I do think this is kind of an interesting idea. Ultimately, I think this wouldn't be too big of a deal. However, I don't really pay too much attention to ordeals, I have to be honest. So I probably have a few that I can complete. And I can definitely see how, non-PvP enjoyers are a little bit frustrated with the PvP ordeals and would like to see something like this implemented. However, I don't know how easy this should be. You know what I mean? Like, maybe one of each. You can get like one ordeal. What is the ordeal currency even called? Research points or something? Regardless, it would be kind of cool if you could use like one of each data to get like 1 point for ordeals or something like that. Oh, he wants to use credits to buff your grenade type for the I kind of like the idea. Honestly, credits are probably the better way to even buy the ordeal points as well. Okay, I think this is an interesting idea. I'm not 100% sure if this is something we need in the game, like, right now, but I do think this is something that could be pretty useful. However, I do think ordeals do kind of provide a certain challenge that it would be kind of weird to see players, like, grind through these ordeals and then, like, a couple patches down the line see, like, an easier way to get them complete. I would like to see something like this implemented if they expand the ordeals, or if they just add some more cosmetics, something like that. Yeah, expand the ordeals, make it a little bit more grindy, but then give us a way to, circumvent that grind if we have enough credits or, data. Yeah, we definitely deserve more ways to, use the data and credits we have because, yeah, you can get maxed out pretty easy in this game. I remember when Prestige perks came out, there were players complaining about, using your credits to buy back perks. And honestly, I'm getting thrown so many credits in this game, I hardly notice a dent when I, go to, respec or to repurchase perks. I really don't notice any, any sort of large, any sort of large exchanges that could be problems. So, yeah, what I want is to use my credits for something other than just buying my perks. I mean, I guess respecing your prestige is pretty useful as well. But hey, you know what? I kind of like the format here. I kind of like the way they can, use datas for the, use your data for the ordeal points, and then you can use your credits for the grenade. But I feel like we can simplify this just by, maybe the credits go to both. You know what I mean? Maybe credits can give you an ordeal point and a grenade type. But yeah, again, ultimately, I don't think, joining into operations with 3 regular grenades really isn't that big of a deal. Like, just throw them and then pick up the next grenades you see. The game really does throw a lot of grenades at you. We definitely see more grenades than healing on Absolute, so I would like to spend credits on ordeal points, sure. But yeah, at the same time, it does kind of feel like you are, yeah, like, I wouldn't say cheating, but it does kind of feel like, you're basically turning the grind into something a little bit easier to approach, and I don't want to see ordeals get complete, like a full, basically a full section of ordeals get complete in just like 1 day. I don't know. I guess ultimately, I don't really know that much about ordeals or as far as how painful the grind is. I kind of just, get the ordeals I get as I'm playing the game. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about like a system like this. Do you think this is appealing? Would this be something you would be interested in trying out or even, taking advantage of for your ordeals? For your ordeals. And also, I'm kind of curious to see what your guys' progression in ordeals is right now, regardless. Like, I think I have maybe a few cosmetics from the ordeals. I think I have the auto bolt rifle skin and then the thunderhammer skin. I kind of want that chest piece also, but I think I'm trying to get the chest piece on console. Irregardless, I'm not very deep into the, I don't think irregardless is a word. I'm very not deep into the ordeal grind right now. I have a handful of cosmetics, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, again, I would like to see something like this implemented, but it would be cooler to see this implemented if we also had an expansion for the ordeals. wish ordeals were completed naturally, because doing like half of them requires you to go out of your own fun way to and try builds you wouldn't like. Go out of your own fun way. Okay. No, I agree. For the most part, as far as going out of your way to complete ordeals, it's definitely seeming like that is kind of why people get annoyed by it, for sure. And I don't really mind trying stuff out in this game. What I kind of mind is the ordeals that, like, when you get grabbed by a Ravener, if you break out of that, it's like, oh great, an ordeal that puts me at 1 HP. It's so difficult to break out of those grabs. I really think some of those grabs should be adjusted in a way. They honestly are so easy to break up if your teammates are paying attention, but yeah, it's kind of hard to find teammates paying attention. Also, it's also hard to even notice when someone is grabbed. A lot of times, you really have to have them on your screen to really see it happen. So yeah, I don't know. That's not really a big deal here or there. Just dodge the grabs if you don't want the ordeal. No, seriously, those grabs ordeals definitely they can be very frustrating. And as far as an ordeal expansion, I'm not too sure what other ordeals we would need, but I'm sure the devs could think of something. There has to be a few ordeals or a few ordeal ideas that, you know, haven't been added into the game, and it would be very nice to kind of see ordeals expanded as far as we get, you know, new cosmetics. Like, I also seen some people talking about the Mark 7 helmet. Like, that would be a cool ordeal cosmetic, you know what I mean? Just, you know, add stuff like that and expand the ordeals a bit. But yeah, I'm just not too sure how many other ideas for ordeals we have, like, cooking, essentially. Like, I really can't think of one off the top of my head, to be completely honest. Maybe, like, an ordeal where it counts, like, how many unique enemies you took out during the operation. I don't know. Something like that would be kind of cool. Nope, because that's literally the whole point of the ordeals. If you want the cosmetic item, you can earn it in the same way everyone else does. It's really not that important. They're just cosmetics. I mean, yeah, I agree. I just think there's always a discussion to be had when some of these systems can be improved, or if they can be improved, because, you know, we are looking into Space Marine 3, so I think a lot of these discussions, as far as the technical side of some of the mechanics we are seeing, is definitely going to go a far way, considering the next, the next installment of Space Marine. Because that's literally the whole point of the ordeals. If you want the cosmetic item, you can earn it the same way everyone else does. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree what they were getting at. This is kind of the point that, you know, I was kind of getting at when we were talking about adding this system into the ordeals that is currently implemented in the game. I would like to see an expansion. I would like to see an expansion, and maybe, yeah, exactly, give us the option to use credits for ordeal points. You can just make it as expensive as possible. I just think some people would definitely take the time to use some of their credits to just get some, like, 1 or 2 ordeal points just to cap out their, you know, whatever they're trying to do at the time. But yeah, I can definitely see some players getting salty at, you know, them adding this and then making the grind a little bit easier as it's currently in the game. But I do think if they expand ordeals, it would be interesting to see a system like this, just so, you know, some players can get through the grind. Or actually, I think this would be great just so players could catch up and then, you know, obviously take advantage of the system while they go into the new ordeals. I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this, because I know ordeals were kind of a big discussion when they released, but nowadays it seems like a lot of people kind of forgot about them. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of complete them when I can. I haven't been to that data center in a while, actually, now that I think about it. I should probably go and see what's there for me. I agree that they need to find another use for excess armory data and requisition. However, this is not the solution. Whilst the PvP ordeals are poorly done, the ordeals in every other category are reasonable. Yeah, I know it might be annoying having to complete every mission 10 times, but are mission completions really beyond our capacity? To unlock all rewards in the research center, you need to complete about 97% of all ordeals, which is good because that minimizes excess research center currency once you've unlocked everything. It also gives you something to work towards. Your suggestion of swapping armory data for research points would create an excess of research points since you would have to complete less ordeals. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's right. That's why I'm suggesting more ordeals. You'd essentially be creating the same problem elsewhere. From the screenshot you provided, you still have plenty of ordeals to complete, many of which are straightforward and will come naturally through normal gameplay. Just do that. Just do that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do agree for the most part. Yeah, a lot of the ordeals definitely are easier to complete if you just, not really focus on them. I feel like some of these ordeals can feel a little bit too grindy because you're definitely working towards, getting your 30 grabs by a Terminator. Like, yeah, that can feel pretty grindy. But yeah, I mean, he's right about having excess, research points and stuff. It's, yeah, I mean, I understand that the ordeals can get a little bit too grindy. I also want other ways to spend data and credits and stuff. I do think this was an interesting idea, but I think this is something that would definitely be better implemented if we obviously seen more ordeals. I think it would be a good way to catch players up, you know what I mean? Just, catch up some players who haven't been playing the game that much. But, I mean, with that said, how much extra resources would they have in that case, right? But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this conversation. I think this is definitely one I wanted to touch on just because we've been talking a lot about, spore mines and, other types of stun lock issues and such in the game. I think this is one where it's like, it's more on the technical side where, I mean, obviously we're going to see ordeals in Space Marine 3. So if there's a way to improve this system, before we get to that third game, I mean, it's worth talking about for the most part. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. And thanks for watching.